So today, Alex is on this platform. I have a profile that I think is beautiful. I've got some connections. You said something earlier that was interesting. You said that LinkedIn is now a content platform, right? As an individual looking to make the most, and let's not even talk about premium for a moment, right? Just the one that the Watus are on.
Yes.
How do I make the most of LinkedIn as an individual before we even go to the business side of it?
Okay, so think about it first. There's already the assumption that LinkedIn is very serious and it's very professional and it's very, you go there and you only can speak very smart things. There's already that assumption. But I like to correct people on that, because it's not that it's a very formal upside platform. It's just that it's a very professional platform. So people try and maintain a professional conversation. So even you, when you're looking at getting on LinkedIn, what you would be looking to do is to benefit in one way or another professionally. Remember, LinkedIn's mission is to make every member more productive and successful. So the content that is shared on the platform enables someone else who's consuming it to benefit from it. Now, content on LinkedIn comes from the Mwananchis, me and you, every other person puts up content. We also have LinkedIn editors who source for valuable content, and they give it a push so that it gets a higher reach on the platform. And then LinkedIn also has a community of pre-approved influencers. They're called the top voices, of about 500 pre-qualified, pre-approved, and predetermined influencers on LinkedIn. They're the ones who have a little in icon against their name. And these are people who are already influencers in their own right, offline in their businesses, in what they do. Think of Oprah Winfrey, think of Bill Gates. These are people who are already, influencers in their own rights. And they are then empowered to continuously bring these insights and content and knowledge that they have, and this speciality that they have, and share it on the platform so that me and you can benefit from it. So there's all this content that's available for all of us to benefit from thought leaders in different industries, in different spaces, in different, industry verticals. And when you're on the platform, then you're able to consume this content. This content is made available for you. So even when you're creating your profile, some of the recommendations you make is follow influencers who you're interested in, because what that means is that when they put out content, that content is pushed to your newsfeed. So you're able to see their content every time you come on. So and that's where the content direction comes in, whereby as much as possible, all the content being created and being pushed out within the platform is content that's going to make the member who consumes it either more productive or more successful in whatever they're doing professionally. So I hope that kind of answers.
You're telling me that when I go on LinkedIn today, I shouldn't be looking at it as I'm going there for my profile and what I'm doing with my profile. I should be looking at it more as well of, it's kind of like when I go to Twitter, for instance. I go to Twitter because I want to see feeds and I want to see what's going on. I don't go there and then go obsessing over my profile to see whether I have updated the last certification or the last whatever I did. Are you telling me that that's the mindset I need to have as well on LinkedIn?
Yes, and that's the mindset a lot of members have. Your profile, how often, okay, granted, you will have changes. Maybe you've changed jobs, or you've got a new certification, or, you've acquired a new skill and you want to update that. That's great. Of course, we encourage that. But usually when you're on the platform, you'll find spending time on your newsfeed, you'll find that there's a lot of information that you benefit from, that you will grow from, coming from different sources, whether it's influencers, whether it's third-party content producers whose content has then been, given virality or given more visibility and reach on the platform. So, and targeting a certain kind of person. No, based on how you behave, the algorithm is able to determine what your intent is. And once we know what your intent is, then we're able to push for you content that's relevant to you. When a member is on the platform, they're looking to be informed, they're looking to be educated, they're looking to be inspired, they're looking to learn something new, they're looking for top trends, they're looking for news. So the algorithm on the platform ensures that there's a consistent flow of that, because based on your interaction, the system already determines what your intent is. So if you do spend some time on the platform and continue to engage, you find that every day you're getting content that's even more valuable. And the more you engage, the more you teach the platform what you're interested in, which means you continuously continue to get content that's relevant.
So that's me consuming content. What about me creating content? Because when I land on LinkedIn, it always asks me that big thing at the top. Write an article, post something. What are the things I should keep in mind as I'm thinking about creating content myself? And as you answer that, can I become a thought leader? How do I get that little thing?
Okay, I will answer that, but I will put a hold on that first. So, like every other social media platform, people always feel like they should share what they're doing, or they should share something, or they should say something. And the platform is built to encourage people to create content and share content. So yes, we want you to share, but when you're sharing content, you have to think about the person who's going to consume it. Are you adding value to them? Are you adding value to your followers or to your connections? Are you inspiring them in one way or another? Are you sharing some sort of trends or how-tos? How are you adding value when you're sharing content? So it's not just about sharing. It's not, you just don't put out anything. You want to put out content that's valuable, and you want to put out content. Use the mindset of the member, the person who's going to consume it. Once you think about even yourself, what would you like to consume, then it's easier to determine what to share, because you don't want someone on your timeline putting out content that's not valuable or relevant to you. So the same thing applies. So there's a little bit of, you have to think about what you're putting out, but at the same time, it doesn't have to be so hard. Now, there are people who are gifted, who can easily, write an article, draft a post or 10 posts a day, shoot a video. And there's some of us who are a little bit gun shy. So you don't have to feel like there's pressure to create. You can also curate content. So maybe if you're a specialist in your own vertical or your own industry, and there's content maybe in your company website, publicly already public information that, you can curate and then share. Or you can look at content, PR content or publications that have been done within your vertical, within your business. You can, curate some of that and reshare, or you can curate third-party content. So there's different ways of sharing. What you need to do is probably add a little bit more to it to give it a sense of purpose, or give it a sense of, perspective. So when you're creating content as an
angle into it.
Exactly, put you into it. Yeah. Now, becoming an influencer, that's usually a very interesting question. It comes up, it's been coming up fairly often in the last 6 months. Now, in Africa, there were only 2 influencers until last year. Bob Collymore was the second African influencer. Unfortunately, he's passed on. And there's that assumption that there would automatically be another African or another Kenyan who would be made an influencer in Africa. But unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. LinkedIn has a team of executives who pre-define or who are responsible for creating a list of potential influencers who are then made influencers. And they have a waiting list that is miles and miles long. And from the outside, nobody has influence on that list. Even we do not influence that list. It's basically a decision that's made by the LinkedIn executives, or that particular thing that decides. And from my understanding, they normally have a long waiting list. So I am sorry, but no, Alex, you're not getting a little, not yet. Not yet.
Life not and yet. We shall get there. My dreams are valid. There's a question of a guy actually here, Jason, and he says, which I think is relevant to what we're discussing. He says, So can Nelly elaborate about the LinkedIn algorithm and how do I position myself as a professional to leverage on this algorithm and how it improves my visibility on the platform? So I guess this is a question more around, okay, I am out here, I'm putting myself out, I'm putting out content, but I want to keep appearing. There's this thing I've seen on LinkedIn where it says this week you appeared on
XY searches, number of searches.
it feels like a vanity score because there will be days I'll see hundreds. I'm like, yes. But I don't know what that means, but I just know it's nice to know 100 people looked at my profile this week. But how do is there anything I can do to keep appearing in more searches and just be seen?
So ideally, first you need to know what you're trying to achieve. Do you just want to appear on searches, or are you actually looking for placements, or is there a particular reason you want to appear on searches? But let me put it this way. A good profile enables you to get better visibility. And I'll point out some things to think about when someone is creating a personal profile. One, ensure you always have a picture, and preferably a nice picture, not a picture at the beach, not a picture having a drink at the bar, a nice, simple professional picture. Because what people are doing now is before they actually come for the meeting, they're going to look you up. So you want to have as close a resemblance to what they're going to meet in that professional setup. So you want a professional picture. It doesn't have to be a portrait, but something close. The next thing is when you're filling out your bio, you want to make sure that you put in some industry keywords and relevant industry keywords, current industry keywords. Because when someone so even recruiters, when recruiters are looking for people to place, they search using those keywords. If they're looking for contractor, they will search using the word contractor. If they're looking for a digital marketing specialist, they're looking for an SEO specialist. In fact, look at it the same way you look at optimization for search engine, SEO. You want to put certain keywords in your bio because then that helps. Because when someone is searching for a particular person or looking to fill a particular role, those are the keywords that they use when they're searching. And that's how you end up in searches. The other thing to think about is having a complete profile. If you have a complete profile, if someone comes across your profile for whatever reason and they go through it and it's complete and they feel like, okay, I've actually understood you, I would like to connect with you. But if you have an incomplete profile, then there's that hesitation of, I don't really know this guy. I don't know if this connection will add value to my network. You understand? So if you don't have a complete and a very well complete profile, then it becomes hard for people to connect with you. So what that means is that your relevance is not so good. You want to make sure that you're consistently improving on your relevance. Also, what content are you engaging with? What content are you sharing? Because remember, if you share content, someone else who's following you will be served that content. They engage with it, someone else sees that. So, slowly people get to see the content you put out, and by virtue of the value of that content, they might look you up. So you want to continuously find ways of engaging on the platform, because just like any other platform, you want to build your relevance to your community. And your relevance to your community from a platform perspective is based on the engagement that comes out of your content. So by ensuring that you're creating or generating or engaging in a certain way that builds your relevance, then that helps you appear maybe in more searches, or the keywords that you're also using or engaging with help you appear in those searches.
Nelly, there must be some best practice when it comes to how often I should post. How often should I post stuff? Should I obsess over this platform every day? Is once a week enough? Like, how often should I be posting?
For LinkedIn, it's more about quality over quantity. So it's not about posting every day or 5 times a day, but it's about quality content. LinkedIn we even advise that sometimes repeat your great hits. If you have some content that you did a year ago and there was great engagement on it, on say, top trends, what you need to do is probably add, update it to the current trends and reshare it. So you also keep tracking what's working for you. But we find that there's that assumption that I have to put a lot of content. I have to constantly put intellectual or very, very smart content. No, that's not it. I think it's more about quality over quantity and just be present and engaging. Also, you don't always have to put out content. You can engage with content that other people have put out, comments, engage in a conversation, engage in groups. So all that does add value.